Does this stuff drive you crazy yet? The interview stuff?
It can. It all depends on the interviewer. So
you haven't left yet, so I'll take that as a pretty good thing. Where were you born and raised?
Visalia, California is where I was born, but we moved to LA when I was 4. So LA is all I know.
Visalia is for
center.
I'm thinking of onions. Is that wrong?
No, onions are there. All fruits and vegetables. Near
Sacto,
it's some pretty heavy farmland. Visalia is just in the middle of the middle. It's about an hour and a half short of Fresno. So heading up the 99.
Okay, how did you escape? Let me ask you this: how did you escape from there?
My father is a singer-songwriter, producer, all-around musician guy. Randy Sharp, and he was signed to a.
You say that like he's not your dad, Randy Sharp.
Randy Sharp,
my dad, Randy. Okay, so and then he said, I'm done with this. I'm going to move down and get a deal. Did
he signed a record deal to RCA when I was 4 years old. So we moved down to LA. I went to college, majored in music performance and theory, and did all that stuff. And about halfway through college, started writing songs, and that's what won.
So your first songs you wrote in college? Not even an inkling before that when you were.
I was writing like instrumental stuff, and I would jot things down lyrically, but it hadn't really found its sync yet. And it was about halfway through college that I started to put it all together.
Why in college, though? I mean, I'm always intrigued to find out what it is that makes somebody go, I got to write this down because. Do you remember the first lyrics, or was it a complete throwaway?
Total throwaway. I would never, ever read them to anyone.
Even if I gave you $20 right now to grab this really unbelievably cool Washburn.
I would have no idea what to play because I blocked it out at least 12 years ago.
So that bad. 2 years ago.
Well, just
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Okay. So that's right. I'm 26. I forget.
Yes. Why did you write the song? Do you remember what the song was about?
The song was about the exercise for me. It was me working through what I needed to do.
The architecture of it.
Yes. It wasn't
necessarily about the emotion?
No, it was all head and no heart. It was like it was my process thing that I
So like
had
going
to
to architecture school and somebody goes design a school and you just go, well, here's 4 walls, here's the roof, it's done.
Yes, and it stands up, but nobody really wants to go to school there.
Okay, so you write your first song in college.
Yeah.
Did you play it for somebody? Did you have a roommate at the time that you said, hey, listen to this, what do you think? And then they went.
I entered it into a song competition thing.
The first song you wrote?
The first thing that I finished and got the lyrics all tweaked the way I wanted them to in my 19-year-old brain,
That's pretty ballsy. Your first song to enter into a competition.
Well, I worked really hard on the thing, and I thought, this is horrible, but I thought I had a shot. I kind of saw who else. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was in the blood. You knew you had a shot, but the question is the first song. Generally, nobody ever thinks that the first song is going to go anywhere.
Well, it didn't. So nobody was right.
It
didn't go anywhere.
Okay, so you come down to L.A. It runs in the family.
Yeah. And
do you remember the first time that you thought I need to pick up a musical instrument and make it my own? Do you remember that defining moment, or did it always just happen with you guys?
There was always music around. Dad was, he always had a studio in the house. There were always rehearsals. There was always a upright piano, a couple guitars, percussion stuff. I remember just kind of having free reign over that stuff and having a lot of fun with it. I don't remember though really falling hard to the point of obsession, maybe we have to help her here because she's just up in her room practicing this thing 8 hours at a time.
Were you practicing just guitar?
Saxophone was
originally.
my first one. I was.
Did you start with the clarinet
I was
first,
12.
or just go straight to sax?
Oh, you had to do this to me, didn't you?
You
couldn't just let me tell the story the way I wanted to tell it. You had to push for the truth.
I want to know.
I started on oboe at 11.
See, that's what I want to know.
Yeah,
so
which
you are
is a beast.
Classically trained then.
I did the whole, we did. It was in the Junior Philharmonic, and they even made me wear a dress, and I wore one, which tells you how much I, at the time, enjoyed playing oboe. And
right.
It's a beast. It's a cheek murder. It's rough.
Right.
And I have a vivid memory of looking over at the saxophone section about a year into my oboe struggles, where I'm almost breaking it over my knee every night just because it's so hard. But when it works, it's amazingly beautiful. Nothing sounds like it. When it doesn't work, you totally want to Harry Carey with it. It's awful. So I remember looking over to the saxophone section. They all had their shades on and they're playing like Stone songs and they're like high-fiving each other. It's like, okay, maybe I need to check that out.
All right, let me jump on to some other things. So at 19, 20 years old, you understand the idea with songwriting. At that point, when you said the amalgam's coming together, when you're starting to borrow from people, you don't have to mention who you borrowed from, but are there people out there that, besides Bonnie Raitt, besides Ricky Lee Jones, that you kind of realized, wow, this is something that...
A lot of Joni Mitchell. A lot of Paul Simon. Hardcore on those guys. Jackson Browne, James Taylor. And these are artists that I was listening to as a kid. You know, my folks had fabulous taste in music, have still. So that was around in the house. And I always loved it. And I made sure that I kept on hearing it through, you know, the studies. But
so you can safely blame your father basically for giving you a solid musical background.
Mother and father, yeah. She's a singer too. They met singing together in a band in high school. It was just music everywhere. I got lucky on that one.
Yeah, very, very.
They couldn't
lucky.
exactly tell me to go get a real job.